Welcome to Twisted Die Roller. My name is Charles, and thank you all for showing up tonight for episode 3 of A Dark Wind Rises, our Pathfinder 2E campaign, involving all these amazing people that you see in front of you on the screen, even though some of them are getting eaten by the screen, it looks like, but that's all right. We'll take care of that tonight. We'll remove players. We'll get new players. And anyways, my name is Charles tonight. I'm going to be your game master. Thank you for being here. I got a few things I need to go over really quick tonight. Get that stuff out of the way. First thing is take a look at the GM dice cam. Take a look at that, please. Look at these dice, these beautiful, beautiful dice. These are the Ember Nolly Dragon set, the Dracona set from the fine folks over there at Die Hard Dice. That set of dice right there is getting given away tonight on our first break, our only break. Not sure when exactly that's going to be, but tonight we're going to give those dice away. If you ever want to win one of the dice giveaways or one of the giveaways in general here on Twisted Die Roller, all you have to do is you have to be a follower or a subscriber, and I'm going to be up front right now. From time to time, I am going to give subscriber luck to subscribers, so they'll have a little bit better chance of winning some of this stuff. I know, I'm a jerk, but that's the way it's gonna be. All you have to do is be a follower here on our Twitch and all that, and you are set. That's it. Just be a follower, be present, and I will have Nightbot do with the rolls, and we'll do it all randomly and all that stuff. At some point tonight, I will go ahead and I will release into the chat what it is that you have to type, but there's actually going to be a giveaway coming up before then that we're going to do tonight. I think we're going to be doing either 3 or 4 giveaways. We were supposed to do some last weekend, but we had some technical problems, so we're not doing those. So if you want to know about our channel and what we're up to, go ahead and look down below in the doobly-doos, as Mr. Matt Colville says, or down there in the panels. You're going to see everything that there is, the reason why we're here doing this, the reason why I am currently sitting here talking head towards you is because this channel is built on the foundation of raising awareness for cancer, the importance of early detection and early screening. I am stumbling over my words like crazy tonight. This should be fun. And mental health issues that all seem to tie into that. The reason for that is quite simple. In December of 2020, my daughter, Michaela, was diagnosed with stage 4 nodular sclerosis, Hodgkin's lymphoma. It sounds nasty. It was nasty. Last year, in the fall, she went to Portland, Oregon to the OHSU Knights Cancer Center, underwent a grueling process known as a stem cell transplant. Good news is that as of December 23rd of 2021, she is a piousness, I think. I still don't know how to say your name, man. Anyways, she went into remission on December 23rd of 2021, and as of just a couple days ago, she's been taken completely off the chemo, no longer needs the maintenance regimen and all that, so she has made as full a recovery as you can. Keep in mind that remission is not a cure. There currently are no cures for cancer, but we're hoping to lend a little bit to that, to maybe help change that a little bit as we do this. We're a small channel, so we'll see what we can do. While you're down in the doobly-doos taking a look around, you're also going to see that we are recruiting for players. I am going to be doing a bunch of one-shots on this channel and possibly some future campaigns involving you guys. I tried to figure out, no, Crimson, the giveaway is not over. I'm trying to figure out ways of saying thank you to you guys for coming here, for supporting us, for dropping follows, dropping subscriptions, all that good stuff, because without you guys, we don't have an audience. Without an audience, we don't get any words out. Not these words, not those words, not any words. So as a way for us to say thank you to you guys, we're doing giveaways just about every week during our campaigns on both Saturday and Tuesday nights. We are going to be running games for you guys. The first one shot is going to be at the end of February, very front end of March. We already have 4 players on board for that. Plus, I'm going to pull 1 or 2 of the people that you see right now on this screen. I'm going to pull 1 or 2 of them into it, and we're going to do that. It's going to be a level 5, level 6 D&D 5e one shot. simply titled Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to get involved in some of the games that we're going to be running here on the channel, which, like I said, one-shots, a bunch of different games. We have a one-shot that will be coming up at the end of March. Hey, Indigo, somebody likes you there, Indigo. You got yourself a sub. Welcome to the subs. Nice. Now you can use those crazy cool, awesome emotes that the subs get. So you can use those things. But if you want to get involved in some of the games that we got coming up, end of March, I'm going to be doing a Monster of the Week one-shot. That's a lot of fun. If you're not familiar with that, it's based on the Apocalypse engine. Okay, same as Dungeon World. All you have to do is be a follower or a subscriber here at Twisted Die Roller. Go over there to our Discord community, get involved. We're growing over there. It's actually starting to pick up. Kind of a fun thing that we got going on there. If you want to, you can click on our Twitter right there. That's the easiest way to be keeping abreast of everything that's going on here, all of that good stuff. So tonight we're going to be doing some giveaways, and guess what? Before I get into any more of the spiel, we're going to go ahead and do this right here, right now. Tonight's first giveaway. I'm going to give this away probably around 7:30 if I get a lull in the action. That is going to be this amazing Upper Deck D20 dice bag right here. This thing is super cool. You saw me give it away once before, but then it was brought to my attention that the person that won it was my son. That isn't cool, so it's going back on. As you can see, you can fit quite a bit of dice in there. That's a big fist. So we're going to be giving this away straight away here, probably about 7:30. The way that this is going to work is it's real simple. All you have to do is type this word into the chat. Let me see if I got right. Okay, here we go. There we go. Type it into the chat just one time only. If you do it more than once, it's gonna disqualify you. This one is open to everybody as long as you are a follower here on the channel. So if you're not a follower, drop that follow. Hey, it's for a good cause. Doesn't cost you anything, and you get a chance to win this. You have to be over 18 years of age. You have to live in the continental United States, and you have to be a follower. It's that simple. There's the word bag of holding, all one word. Enter that just one time, and sometime in the next probably hour, you're going to be the winner of this brand new, beautiful D20 Upper Deck dice bag. You can hang it from your rear view mirror and show off everything that you've got there. There's Indigo. She's got it in there. There's another one. So everybody, go ahead and do that sort of stuff, and let's give away some stuff tonight. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, there are a couple things. You're going to notice over there above the Pathfinder logo, you're going to see a thing called Retrofix Gaming. Go ahead, down below, you're going to see a link to that awesome website for that amazing store. Those guys are our real rife. Hold it. Hi, Beamers RQ. Well, first thing you have to do, Beamers, is drop a follow on the channel. Doesn't cost anything. Just drop a follow, help us get the message out, and then just write the word bag of holding, all one word, just one time, and you will have a chance at winning this thing here in about an hour. Anyways, you'll see that Retrofix Gaming over there. Go ahead, go down in the doobly-doos down below. Those guys are indeed one of our sponsors. They're an amazing game shop here where we live. If you're tired of giving away your money to these big, massive corporations that won't really have any faces, that have robots walking around picking everything and sending it on out the door, if you believe, and if you believe that mom and pop stores, those small game stores a lot of us grew up with, are still important to this hobby, and you want to go support one, I can't recommend one better than Retrofix Gaming. Their staff is knowledgeable. They're amazing people. That website is constantly updated. It's constantly on point. If they don't have what you are looking for, drop them an email, give them a call, talk to Mandy, talk to any of the staff that they got there. Those guys are really cool. You're also going to notice, if you listen very closely, that you have got some sounds coming out through this here sound system. Things that maybe aren't quite so natural. What that is Sirenscape, because hey, every good tabletop RPG deserves an epic soundtrack. Go check them out at sirenscape.com. What you're listening to right now is the Classic Adventures sound set. Go give them a check. Go say hi to them. And hey, if you do get involved in it, let's send them a message and let them know that Twisted Die Roller sent you. You know, because I'm not sponsored by them. I am not affiliated with them. But I'm going to say it like I always do. Sirenscape, if you guys are looking to sponsor somebody, I wouldn't complain. We can work something out. I'm easy to get along with, really. Super easy to get along with. So as you can see, I have a bunch of players sitting here in front of me. So let's go ahead and start sending it around the corner to these guys. So I'll go ahead. There you go. Now you can hear the music that I was talking about, since I got it on the same thing as them, since I'm piping it through Discord. So we're going to start with Barrage. Connor, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing tonight.
Hey, I'm Connor. I've been playing tabletop role-playing games since 2010. I'll be playing Barrage, the Lizard Folk Wizard. Witch, different W caster, witch, Lizard Folk Witch. There we go.
All right, Jeannie.
Hi, I'm Jeannie. I play for Lena. She is a half-elf cleric, and that's it.
That's it. All right, Danny.
Hi, my name's Danny. I've been playing tabletop RPGs for about a year less than Connor. I started about a year after he did. I am currently playing a little 4-foot-tall Ratfolk Rogue Ranger cross called Sets.
And Christian.
Hi, I'm Christian. I am playing Selenar, a Seer Elf Magus.
Nice. And if everybody can see it, this is a Dark Wind Rising. This is our 3rd episode, and this is one of the Rune-Scarred Chronicles. So basically the map that you see in front of you, that is our homebrew world. Everything that I run on here that's going to be fantasy, whether it's D&D, whether it's Pathfinder, whether it's old school essentials, doesn't matter if it's fantasy, it goes into this world, and all falls underneath the title of the Rune-Scarred Chronicles. We will be doing a Patreon here in about 6 months where all the maps that you see that I have made on stream, all that information will be there for our supporters as another way of raising some stuff. So like I said before, we're all about raising awareness of cancer and all that. So let me get through my quick little spiel and we'll get on to playing some games for you guys tonight and giving away some fun stuff. First off, hey, if you, a loved one, a friend, a family member, Bob, the guy that drives the bus that takes your kids to school, if anybody you know has been suffering from an ailment, whether that ailment is something such as simple as an itch, a spot, a scratch, a wound that won't heal, a cough, an ache, a pain, body chills, sniffles, if you've been dealing with it or they've been dealing with it for more than a few weeks, 3, 4, 5 weeks, I urge you, go to the doctor. And listen, I know, not exactly an inexpensive thing, especially if you live in the United States with our messed up healthcare system. But I'll tell you right now that many forms of cancer and all forms of cancer, the best way of beating cancer is by early detection. There are some very aggressive forms of cancer out there like the colorectal, lung, brain, prostate, all of those. That a lot of ways, the only chance you have of beating it is via early detection. So do me a favor, if you're suffering from this or somebody you know is suffering it, go to the doctor, get checked out, because my family just went through over a year of unbelievable stress as my daughter battled it out with cancer. The early detection thing is very important, just to kind of give a little bit of a quick insight into that. If she would have waited another month, she would not be here. She would have indeed died to the cancer. They figure that she had the cancer for about a 1.5 to 2 years before she was diagnosed. Luckily, we were lucky that lymphoma is very slow moving, and they were able to get it even after a late detection. If she would have been detected like a year beforehand, it would have been a lot easier fight, especially with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is not super aggressive. So go get checked out. That'd be a smart thing for everybody to do. So let me recap really quick where we're at and everything that's gone on. This merry band of adventurers, a band of mercenaries, is on their way from Reston Falls to Ilaria, the Veiled City. Upon the way, they got a little bit off track, did not travel the main road, and they were set upon as they were crossing a bridge by some zombies. They had noticed that the winter has been extremely long this year, way more snowfall than there's supposed to be. They battled the zombies and all of that, and they were successful. They uncovered a wagon, some people that had been murdered, some ties back to Traveler's Rest and all of that, and we left off just outside of that wagon with Selenar, our magus, wandering out into the woods as he is on a late night watch. Hearing some screaming coming from the darkened trees, he moved his way out towards to see what it is. Selenar, roll me a perception check if you would be so kind. And I'm gonna pull everybody over to here.
17.
There we go. 17. As you kind of move up to where you guys had fought that hulking ogre type zombie that blew up, you can hear that still kind of echoing. It's off in the distance a ways. It's echoing in behind the trees and everything, but you definitely hear this kind of sound coming ripping through the trees. It's higher pitched, and something about it feels very, very small. You don't hear any footfalls, you don't hear any crashing or thrashing through the trees or anything like that, but you can definitely hear it.
Okay. I am gonna move over there.
All right, as you move your way up the hill, you find yourself stepping through the remains of the exploded zombie that managed to blow up. Hold on, give me a second here. I'm trying to find a tab, and I don't know where that tab is at. Okay, oh well, whatever. If I need it, I'll find it when I need it. Anyways, as you kind of move up, that sound is still at least several hundred yards away. You can hear it kind of bouncing through the night air, the chilled night air. There's a few snowflakes that are falling. You can see in spots on the ground where little bits of snow have kind of begun to cling to the icy grass and weeds and undergrowth and all that. And you can hear that scream continuing, and it kind of bounces between the trees. But as you move up, you said you rolled a 17, correct?
Yes.
As you move up, you begin to hear slightly different sounds coming in behind it. Stuff that's a little bit more guttural and groaning kind of sound. And you hear a very, very faint light clacking sound, as if like two rocks being struck together, mixed in with the screams. And the screams are growing closer.
All right, I'm gonna go run over here.
Oh, that's too far.
Wow. Selenar decides that at this moment in time, this is the time to take a nap or a bath. And so he ran over to the water, dove into the water, and decided that, hey, Calgon, take me away. No, Selenar, you go making your way back to camp, and as you get back to camp, you're greeted by like that hissing snore that Barrage is kind of famous for. It's gotten you guys actually removed from a couple of establishments because some people weren't able to sleep, not because of the volume, but because of the creepiness of a lizard snoring. You can only imagine like a kind of sound going on and all of that. You can see the rest of your compatriots there tucked into their bedrolls and all that, maybe a light embers burning on what's remaining of your guys' campfire. The sound continues, it gets sporadic, and then it quits. You hear it cut just briefly. You hear and then it just drops away. You hear it cut completely off.
I am gonna shake Barrage awake. Being like, hey, I hear screaming and like some rocks clattering, like, and it sounds like it's getting closer.
Much closer.
I couldn't tell, it seemed to be getting closer.
Go ahead, if you want to take a guess at it, you can go ahead and roll me a nature.
That would be a 7.
A 7. Yeah, you have absolutely no idea how far it was. You just kind of know that it was up where you were running to, and you heard screaming, and you did hear like 2 stones getting clacked or something like that. It sounded kind of odd, the whole thing. But yeah, you don't know exactly how far away. It's just out that way.
Yeah. So it's over by where we found the dead baker's body. Barrage.
Kill me, and I'll get out of my bedroll and climb up and grab my spear and shield. If you woke me for nothing, and I'll start heading over that direction.
And I'll follow.
Okay. All right, as you make your way up to and into the area kind of where Selenar was indicating where this could be, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
9.
9. All right, you don't
Rub my
hear
eyes.
any of this screaming sound. You don't hear anything of what Selenar was talking about. You kind of sit there and you flick your tongue out a little bit to sense what's on the air and all that. Nothing. There, as far as your senses can tell you, there ain't anything out there. You don't hear anything.
We've talked about this.
I
It's a
swear
serious
I
problem.
heard.
Wake me up.
I swear
Otherwise,
I heard something.
and I'm going to just kind of trudge back to my bedroll, set my shield and spear down next to me, and snuggle back in there. When you're done with your watch, wake me up and I'll relieve you. If it was actually something, keep your ears open and wake me if you need us.
Fine. And
So-
I kind of plump off back over to that log.
All right, as you kind of plump down on the log, you hear Selenar, or not Selenar, but Barrage kind of begin to settle back into his sleep. And again, that kind of hissing, kind of weird, strange, slick, almost sounding snore that his lizard face gives off kind of begins to pick back up. And as you're sitting on the log, your ears kind of perk up as you kind of hear a bit of a clack sound once again happen.
It's nothing, Selenar. You are totally fine.
And as you're sitting there, you kind of hear, as you're sitting there and you're kind of looking off the log, right? This log, and by the way, remember that this log not only has blood and guts on it, it has like bits of the exploded flesh of the boom zombie that are stretched onto it and all that stuff. You gotta remember, you were raised in a noble family way far to the east. You were raised as one of the privileged few. You were sent at a young age to a magic academy where you were being trained in magic and all that. And even though it has been about a year since you made your escape after the fiasco at the gala with the assassins and all that, and then the secondary assassin hitting you, as you're sitting on the log, strangely enough, your mind kind of wafts back to that, and you're kind of pulled to a different time. And you remember when you were sitting in just before you were chased out of Pendelhaven, what we now know to be known as Old Absalom. Thank you for that book, Paizo, by the way, if you're out there watching this ever, because you saved me a whole lot of building a city, because I'm just going to steal it out of your guys' book. Anyways, as you're sitting and you think back to that, you remember exactly how close you came to death, and you kind of almost lackadaisically just kind of remember and get drawn back to your younger days. Not that you're old to begin with, and you remember the lap of luxury, and you remember the finer things in life, and you just kind of aimlessly put your hand down. And when you put your hand down on the log, you are ripped out of this memory as your hand hits something, and for a brief moment, that something, which is moist and wet, wriggles a little bit. Your ear perks up, you hear some clacking off kind of towards where the bridge was at, and the stand of trees to your left. and then you think you hear something further out, but your hand is resting on something that does wriggle. Go ahead and do me a favor and roll me a perception check once again.
23.
23. This time, coming from the darkness back up to where you had told Barrage where you had heard the screaming coming from, you hear a little bit of mumbling. It's muffled, but you can hear it, and it's closer than what the scream would have been. So you have the clacking to your left, you have the wriggling moist thing that your hand just happens to be resting on, and you have this noise coming from the trees, kind of off into the darkness, off where you had heard the screaming. Which one are you going to focus on, young mages?
I'm gonna move towards the bridge.
Okay, and as you pull yourself up off of the log and your hand pulls away, you hear something slough off and hit the ground, and you can kind of continue to hear this kind of sound as something squishy and wet is still moving. As you move over to the tree, however, you happen to see something move around behind the tree. You get a quick, brief glimpse at it, but you see what appears to be like stained china, white china. You see again something glisten in a little bit of the moonlight that's cutting through the trees and cutting down through the clouds that are beginning to build. And you notice as you're kind of peering through and towards this tree that the snowflakes are getting a little bit more common, they're getting a little bit bigger, and they're beginning to fall a little bit faster. At this point, you see something move. You hear a twig snap and something erupts out of the tree, as what you see is a very large, what appears to have maybe at some point been a dog. You can see flesh hanging off of exposed bones. It's decayed, it's desiccated, it's ruined. You can see burnt bits on it. You can see charred markings on the bones. You can see its dog, its canine mouth dropping open, its teeth hanging up and forward. But the thing that kind of gets you about that is you can see a bit of fine silk embedded in its mouth, punctured through by one of those canines, and it's hanging there. And it kind of opens its mouth towards you. And when it does that, you hear this ethereal, guttural kind of snarling sound come. And then you hear that sound answered by a second one, as you see a second one round around the tree. As you're standing there and your jaw kind of begins to maybe drop open a little bit, and you're hesitant, and you sit there. Oh, there we are. There he is. I was wondering where my other one was at. There we are. I found him. Back to the business at hand. You see a third one come around it. You're kind of standing there, kind of in shock. And it's at that moment in time that you realize you're surprised, as all three of these creatures kind of move and surround you. The one to your right kind of moves in next to you, and they all three kind of converge on you, my fine feathered magus friend. The first one, the one to the right of you, let me get my iPad fired up so I can track this, because something tells me that we're going to have some fun right now. All right, so the one closest to off to your right-hand side moves forward. Let me get my notes up here so I can see exactly what this thing is going to do to you. There we go. All right. Oh, I didn't change my stuff. Oh, well. All right. Where are we at? There we go. All right. So this thing kind of moves, lunges towards you. You hear its bones kind of clack. You can see flaps of the desiccated flesh, some of it falling off. You can see like a section on its hind corners where it kind of looks like mage, but it launches towards you, cutting through the night air. And it 18, does that hit you, good sir?
Yep.
Yes, all right. The thing lunges towards you, grabbing onto your arm, and it rips into your arm from the side. Ooh, good lord. 12 points of damage.
Oh. Okay.
The other two sit there. The one to the left kind of rounds around to the left and seems to be, oddly enough, rather than joining its compatriot in its attack on you, it pulls off a little bit, and you can kind of see it. You're familiar with canines, you're familiar with animals, and how they'll kind of cock their heads sometimes if they're listening, and then kind of move to kind of a sniff. And this thing does all of that, except for you notice where there would be ears, you see nothing but exposed, charred skull. You can see that these things at one point in time had been burnt as well. And it kind of does. It goes through all the actions. It kind of moves its nose up as if it's sniffing. And it turns and moves off into the trees. The other one, however, launches a frontal assault at you. 23. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Good. Well, not good, I guess, but... This one hits you for 8 more points of damage.
Is any of this noise by any chance waking the rest of us up?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check since you asked for all 3 of you.
16.
15.
Critical 1.
Oh, God. Your rat ears are not doing any good right now.
Both Barrage and Ferlina, you're tossed in dreams of various kinds. Barrage, you're remembering life in the swamp and these massive, just juicy swamp rats. And you remember catching it, and as like crocodiles do, you're eating it, and you kind of take its leg off, and you kind of flip it up in the air and slap your jaws on it. And in the dream, as you slap your jaws down onto this juicy rat leg, the swamp rat leg, there's a sound that clicks a little bit different. Almost like this chattering sound that like cats will make when they see a bird through a window or something like that. Only this one's a lot thinner and more bony. And then you hear a guttural sound and your eyes snap. Your nictating membrane pulls back off of your eyes and your eyes snap open as you realize that something is not quite right in Denmark. Ferlina, you are ripped out of a dream. You're in a tavern, most likely someplace that you've just recently been to, like the Traveler's Rest. And the stew that Palomar is quite famous for. You are, again, you hear your spoon hit the bottom of the bowl, but there's something about it and your eyes snap forward. Almost like that feeling like when you're sleeping and you're just about to fall asleep and you feel like you're falling off the edge of the bed and you do one of those quick jerks. Your hands immediately grab into the ground at your side and your eyes snap open as you kind of lean up. As you do this, out of the periphery of your vision, you see Barrage doing the lizard version of what you just did. And you both sense in the air that something is not right. And as your senses begin to focus in on what that could be, you hear this very, very rat-like, snarly kind of inhale of breath, and you realize that Sez is just curled up in his bedding and is sound asleep, not to be bothered by any of this whatsoever. Selenar, these two giant these undead dog-like creatures are engaging you. You've had one that's just about torn your right arm off. The other one has launched and bit into your chest area, has maybe even managed to take a bit of your cloth or armor or skin with it as it pulled away. What are you going to do?
I'm going to let out a blood-curdling scream of help.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Since you rolled a critical one, Says, you're lost in a dream. You remember being a young rat in the Warrens, growing up in the streets, or actually probably growing up beneath the streets of Reston Falls. And you remember running around with your little Warren mates chasing other things through that. And you remember that one of the games that you guys used to play was a simple rat folk game called Help, I'm It, oh help me, I'm it. And in your dream, you remember one of your dearest friends. You can't remember their name off the top of your head, but one of your dearest friends out of the hundreds you probably had, yelling out, help, 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 or something and you just kind of snuggle up deeper and fall deeper into your sleep. However, Barrage and Ferlina, you both hear this blood-curdling scream erupt outside of camp, kind of back towards where the bridge was at. You hear Selenar call for help. Everybody roll me an initiative. I've already rolled an initiative. Ferlina, what is your initiative, please?
11.
An 11. Barrage.
15.
15. Selenar.
21.
21. Don't worry about it, says. Maybe some other day you'll actually be able to play Pathfinder with us. You shouldn't have mixed melatonin and alcohol, but that's what happens.
He's just really
Anyways,
happy about all the found.
both Selenar and Barrage, you feel energy. Selenar, you feel alive. One thing that's happened, even though you were raised in this posh environment in a far eastern city, and you were raised in the lap of luxury, you are the proverbial white privileged Karen. Your blood in your body, you have learned, begins to kind of boil a little bit. You get a bit of a rush off the idea of actually being in combat. When you were at the academy, it was one thing to train against dummies and to practice safe spells and warded rooms, kind of doing the Hogwarts type thing where while it hurt, you never really got damaged. The 4 or 5 months that you've been here on the Isle of Atheln, traveling with your compatriots here, and even earlier back to Pendelhaven, and your escape from Pendelhaven, and your meeting initially with the lizard folk witch Barrage. As time has gone on, you've kind of begun to get a little bit of a rush off of combat, and your senses hyper focused, and you manage to get the jump on the 2 bone-like dogs that are surrounding you. Their guttural, otherworldly growls filling the air around you.
I am going to pull out my longsword and go after the one to my right.
Okay, that would be 2 actions. Go ahead and roll your attack, good sir.
Ah! That would be a 9 with a crit 1.
Ooh, all right. So apparently the way that I'm gonna roll this is you would have missed. The crit takes it down to an even worse miss. So we're gonna have some fun. Again, I'd like to remind everybody that's out there watching, you're going to see us do a couple things that might not be what you've seen or what you might be used to. I really don't give a damn about the rules as written. I'm here to tell a story and have fun with my friends. So we're going to bend some things. We're going to flex some things. We're going to do some fun things. We're going to have some fun. We're going to house rule stuff. So if you don't like what I'm doing, go ahead and post up there in the chat and let me know, and that'll just give me something else to ignore. Anyways, Selenar, you whip out your sword, right? And you pull it out. Your blood's pumping. The cackles on the back of your hair are up. You're vibrating almost. And you reach and you grab your sword and you jerk it out and you get it ready and you pull it out and you go to swing at the one on your right. And as you turn and you bring your hand violently forward, lashing out with everything you have, you feel your hand slip off the pommel of your weapon, and you send your weapon flying towards camp.
Oh boy.
Oh god.
I am going to say at this point in time
Oh god.
that there is
not
a
the cleric.
10%.
Just please not the cleric.
that there is a 10% chance that your weapon is going to fly through camp and possibly hit somebody.
Wake up says.
and it doesn't.
You're right
However,
next to Says. He's on the other side of you.
Barrage and Ferlina, as you're in camp, and are you both kind of getting up and getting ready to?
Yeah, I'm
right.
grabbing my weapons and getting the hell up.
All right, so as you're grabbing your weapons, as you guys are getting up, you guys are getting ready, the blood's pumping and all that, and you stand up, you know exactly what direction Selenar is at. You can even look over and see these, and they're about the size of a big, like a big Rottweiler or even a Tibetan Mastiff. These are large undead dogs of some kind. And as you look over there, you hear something like rip through the trees. You hear this kind of sound, and between the pair of you, you see one of Selenar's short swords go whipping past you, in between you, and you hear it thunk into the tree over by the wagon. Selenar, you have one more action.
Can I run between the dogs to get out of there?
You can indeed do that. However, that will present an attack of opportunity. Let me double check to make sure that these do have that. Yep, in my notes, they do. They have attack of opportunity. So if you do, you run the risk of them getting a free attack.
We're just gonna, I'm just gonna pull out my glaive for now.
Okay, you pull out your glaive and ready your glaive. The light spell has fallen off of it. The two dogs that are dog-like creatures that are in front of you don't really care anything about your glaive, and they just menacingly focus in on you. And while you're looking at them, you see that very familiar, faint crimson glow. You notice that well, for the most part, their eye sockets are empty. One of them does have like a bit of an eye still dangling and hanging out. But inside their hollowed sockets, you can see this very faint crimson light that kind of swirls there as they kind of focus in on you. Barrage, the sword flying by your head, you hear it behind you stuck in the tree. You hear that kind of warbly metal sound. And you see in front of you, you see Selenar has now readied his glaive, pulled it out, kind of fumbling with it. And you see these two large bone dogs that are not aware of you, so they would be flat-footed.
All right. So was I able to stand up when I woke up?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was free.
Was I able to pick up my shield and spear as I was standing up, since they were right next to me?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I will just move in. Shit. 2 actions to move, and third action I will strike with my spear.
Okay. Remember, you get a +2. Or it gets a -2, whichever.
That is going to be a 25 to hit.
A 25 to hit. Almost a crit, but not quite, but it does indeed hit. Using your
Alright, he
spear?
takes 4 points of piercing damage.
Alright.
It's probably going to be a whole bunch against bones, but...
Yeah. Your spear tip, you slide it through, you catch a little bit of the desiccated flesh on its rib cage. You can hear the spear, you hear a bone, like a rib crack, as your bone kind of easily punctures through it. The thing kind of doesn't even really appear to pay a whole lot of attention to you whatsoever. And they stay, both of them, focused on Selenar. Selenar, the one to your right that Barrage just laid into, kind of lets go with a snarl as it launches yet another attack at you. And that is a hit. What is your armor class against? I don't have it right.
16.
16. That is a critical, good sir.
Huh. Huh.
That would be 16 points of damage.
Oh, well, I'm like super dead.
Okay. Barrage, you see the one that you struck. It rips away from your spear, launches through the air, slamming into Selenar. Its jaws clamping onto his throat. You see red almost immediately begin to soak in to Selenar's clothing and everything he's wearing. And you see his face kind of go a little pale as he slams back with a sickening thud, his head cracking into the ground as the creature bites into his throat and still has a firm hold on him. The other one that is standing there, having no real desire to engage with you, it's like it's single-mindedly moves over onto Selenar and joins the other one in gnawing down on him. You are now, hold on, give me a second here, folks. I need
But I'm
to
at
look.
what, dying 2?
Yeah, you are at dying 2. So when it comes around to your turn next turn, you would be doing a death save with a -2. That is a flat roll with a -2 to it. All you gotta do is beat a 10. That's all you have to do, but we're not gonna do it yet. We're gonna let the drama build. For Lena, you hear as you get everything ready, and you see Barrage charge into the fray and strike out at one of these canines. Yeah. You gonna say something, Connor?
Yes, I just want to remind you, he moves to just before the creature that struck him, so
Yep.
he'll be after I have a chance to try and save.
Yep. So, Ferlina, you see all of this transpire. You see Barrage go over and stab at one of them, and you can kind of tell that the shot was fairly ineffectual against it. The thing didn't turn to face Barrage or anything. You heard that low guttural sound, and now you're hearing them again as they're kind of almost gnashing at each other as to which one gets to eat Selenar. You saw it slam into Selenar, you saw it drag Selenar to the ground, and you see the other one join in it. So there's two bone creatures sitting there basically arguing right now on top of Selenar's prone unconscious body as to which one's going to eat it, and you are where you're at in camp. What do you wish to do?
I am going to... I want to charge over, because I think right about here is 25 feet. I want to move 15 feet beyond that, so that would be 2 movements, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to move there, that's 2. And then I'm going to cast Disrupt Undead.
Well, that's cheating. That's completely cheating. I did not know you had that spell. These are not undead creatures. These are fully alive hellhounds. And Beholder explodes out. No,
She can't. She can't. It's
no,
a
you
2-action
can't.
cast.
It's 2 actions. 2
Oh,
actions.
it is.
Somatic verbal. Yeah.
I thought
so
that was if it was heightened. Shit.
Yeah.
That said, it does have a 30-foot range, so I guess you could stay back and hit at least one of them.
Yeah, you could have stayed back off your first movement, cast it, and then done it.
Well, if I can still do that, then I will.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that.
Okay.
We're
So
early
I go
enough into the
back
campaign that I won't hold
here.
you guys to everything.
And then cast that, so it does 1d6 positive damage plus my spellcasting ability modifier. But there is a fortitude save that they can try.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, crit fail.
Did not a crit fail, but it did fail it.
Okay.
So which one are you lashing out at? The one that Barrage would be? That would be the one that you could get to. Okay.
Yep. So the d6, I rolled a 6 plus
Okay.
the spellcasting, which is a 7. That'd be 13.
Woo! How do you want to do this? actually. As you cast out your spell, and you can hear it behind you, Barrage, as the familiar sounds of Ferlina calling on whatever entities it is. All you know is it's something to do with 3 old people or something like that that she talks to frequently, and somehow these old people, through baked cookies or whatever, or knitted goods, give her power. And she waves out her kerchief and her little lacy doily thing that they made for her for power, and she leashes out with this lance of disrupt undead, and it slams into it. The dogs, the whole time that you're going through this, in that brief amount of time, both of these undead dogs are kind of gnashing jaws at each other, and right as you finish off and you let go with this lance of disruptive energy into it, the one that you targeted seems to be the dominant of it. And it has just turned, and right as it's getting ready, you see its mouth open up. You see the bit of silk that it tore off of something hanging from its mouth as it turns and gets ready to clamp back down on Selenar's face. Selenar, you're laying there. You're completely unconscious, but you're having dreams of how nice it was to sit on silken cushions, to eat the finest of foods, and drink the most delicate of elven wines. The lance slams into that creature, and you see this light, this energy kind of begin to crackle around its bones, and you see the bones one by one kind of begin to drop onto Selenar. First a few ribs, and then maybe one of the rear leg bones kind of warbles and falls off. Its jaw is open, it's looking down. The bottom jaw disconnects and falls, thunking Selenar right on the forehead. He takes 144 points of damage and is now at dying -3. No. As the bone slaps into his head, it gradually all kind of comes apart. Like whatever heinous energy was there comes apart. Go ahead and roll me a perception, Barrage and Ferlina.
I was blinded by the light.
What'd you get, Ferlina?
12.
12. That is perfectly good enough. As the final bones drop and form this kind of disheveled pile around Selenar's fallen corpse at this point in time, you see a very, very faint globular, like a blob of crimson energy kind of hang and huddle on Selenar just a bit, and it begins to kind of envelop him, and you see it kind of begin to sink in to Selenar.
Oh, my ass is racing over there. Is the other dog still alive?
Well, that's the end of your actions. That was one action to move and 2 to cast the disrupt.
Is that other dog still alive though?
Oh yeah. It's sitting there, and it doesn't seem at all perturbed. It doesn't seem at all bugged by the fact that its compatriot has just been falling apart. But this kind of crimson energy pulses, kind of envelops around Selenar's chest, and you see it sink in and disappear into Selenar. Says, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeannie.
I'm gonna start praying.
Okay. Says, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
2.
That is a good dream. You so miss the sewers underneath Reston Falls. You miss your buddies. You miss your Warrens. You miss all the rotted goodies and nummies and raiding the candy stores and all that stuff. You're completely oblivious, and you're still lost in your dreams and all of that. Barrage, we come back to you. You just saw this thing basically come apart. There is still one more that's got its bony paws still firmly on Selenar's chest, and its mouth drops open as if it's going to bite down on your snack pack.
All right, that's my food. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna drop my shield and spear.
Okay, it's one action.
So I should be free because I'm just dropping.
Oh, that's
them,
right.
not...
That's right. You're just dropping them. Yeah, you're not putting them away.
So I will then move 5 feet. And for my last action, I'm going to attempt to grab this bone dog and pull him off Selenar.
Okay.
No! And if you would like, you can grapple me because I critically failed that.
Oh, nice. So Barrage, you move over and you reach out, and you didn't see the femur bone or the hip bone, and as you step into it and you reach to grab this creature and go ahead, your foot immediately just slips and slides out from underneath you, and it sends you tumbling off over. Whoa! I don't want to move him. Oh,
Like I said, he can choose to either grapple me or knock me prone.
He's gonna knock you. He actually chooses. He's not gonna pay any bit of attention to you. Actually, that one's gone. This one's still there. He is still focused in on Selenar. Selenar, roll me a death save, would ya? It's just a flat D20 roll and take 2 off of it. You just got to beat a 10. That's all you got to do, buddy.
That'd be a 9.
That would be a not happening. So that would be a death. You're at dying 3. Is that correct? 2. Was it 2? Yeah, he's at dying 3 right now.
The dying 3, yeah.
The creature on top of you, unaware of where you're at, not really caring, just this weird, strange hunger that seems to be drawing it. It opens its jaw. It marks down at the same time, basically that Barrage is doing this thing. This thing is going to lay into you, and it does indeed hit you with that 8. Don't matter the damage. This is going to take you. Okay, let me double check something here really quick. Give me a refresher really quick there, Connor. How exactly does it work?
Unless you have the feat that makes you, like, I think it's like hard, something like that. Assuming he doesn't have that feat that makes him harder to kill, when you hit dying 4, you die. Dead. He's dead, Jim.
Yep. So, Selenar, you don't ever feel it. You don't ever feel the life slip from your grasps. You don't feel your life energy go away. Selenar, you are gnawed upon heartily by this creature. Ferlina, Barrage, you can hear this thing's bony teeth, its undead teeth, some of them even snapping as it bites down, grating against the bones underneath Selenar's delicate flesh. You've kind of known since you've met this young magus that his life may be a bit of a short one, a violent one. He's far too soft for the adventuring life, and you now see that prove true as Selenar slips away and is dead. The creature sits there kind of gnawing on him for a little while. Ferlina, you see this. You can sense that Selenar is no longer amongst you.
Yeah, I'm praying that he doesn't raise as undead. And these fucking dogs need to die, so.
You have 3 actions. What are you going to do?
Let's see here. I have both my daggers, so I am literally going to charge the one that's on him.
All right.
That should be 1, 2. Yeah, I should be able to make that. Right there. And
So that's 1 action. 1 action to attack.
Fingers. That'd be a 21 to hit.
Yep.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. As you slam your daggers into this creature, it continues to amazingly enough, gnaw away on it. You have 1 more action if you'd like to try another attack. It should be
Yes.
a -4.
Okay. $14.
14, that hits.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't think it would. 6.
6. How do you want to do this? This creature is
Literally, I'm like coming at him with both daggers, screaming at him to die, and I just take one down and then the other and just pull.
Okay, and as you do this and as you pull, both of your strikes severs what little bit of cartilage and stuff that is there upon it, and the head kind of stops its gnawing. And so as you're stabbing down at this thing is not paying any attention to anything other than the meal at its feet. And you can see it's pulling chunks of Selenar off of it. Off of Selenar's face and off of his neck. Selenar's blood is caking out everywhere. And as you sever the head of this beast, it drops to the ground and tumbles just a little bit off towards the trees to your right. And you see its mouth kind of begin to keep clamping as if it's chewing on your friend. And then you see that crimson in the eyes kind of flare up a little bit and then begin to fade. And as it fades, Barrage and Ferlina, roll me a perception check. One.
22.
That's the third nat 1 in a row. Roll.
Oh.
Different dice, dude.
May
Different
I
fucking
recommend-
dice.
3 different D20s.
May I recommend?
I did.
Kidding.
No.
May I recommend one of Dice, Easy Dice Rollers Dice Jails? It's
Yes.
a good way of teaching your dice. By the way,
Yeah,
we will be
I'll
giving
go-
away one of those in the future too.
Last night when I was helping Charles roll up a character, I rolled 4 1s for stats.
He did. So anyways,
Are you using your dice tray, damn it?
Yes, and my dice tower.
right, so Ferlina, you see the same thing that you saw before. You see that crimson fade out, and then you see this very, very faint, unless you knew what you were, like, that it was there, you know, from before, it'd be really hard because this one's kind of tucked away over in the shadows. But you see a small, maybe 12-inch, almost like a blob of this red kind of energy as it slinks and slithers, almost as if it was spilled towards Selenar. I will give you a free action to go ahead. We're gonna move outside of combat for just a second if you would like to try to do anything with that thing, but it is moving towards Selenar, and you did see the prior one kind of sink into Selenar.
Oh gosh,
I will give you a moment to think. Hey, everybody that's out there, if you saw on the title of our stream tonight, we are doing giveaways. We are doing a bunch of giveaways. First off, here at our main break, which will be in about an hour, we are giving away that. If you look at the GM's dice cam, you will see this amazing set of Dracona metal dice. Those are dragon scales you see in there. They are so nice. We are giving those away here in about an hour at about 8 o'clock on our main break to one lucky viewer. Here coming up in about 5 minutes, I'm going to be giving away this Upper Deck D20 dice bag that you see, this beautiful blue dice bag. We're giving that away. It's real simple. All you have to do is be a follower or a subscriber here on Twisted Die Roller. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to live in the continental United States to win that. The other thing that you have to do is to type in this word just once into our chat to be eligible. And maybe if I could get this thing over there, I will do that really quick. Type in this word just one time, and that will enter you if you're a follower. And then we'll be doing that drawing here once we're done with this little scene, because we're going to be taking our first break of the night here in about 5-10 minutes, so I can maybe get Christian onto an idea for a new character. So, Ferlina, back to you.
I am going to cast Protection on Selenar.
You're going to cast Protection on Selenar.
Yes, because it says you ward a creature against a specified alignment.
Would he be a creature now? He's
No.
a hunk of meat.
He's a hunk of meat, yeah.
No?
No, he's
Damn.
not a creature. He would have to be sucking air to be that.
What if you just fireballed the body?
I thought about
You're starting
that.
to sound like Crimson Nexus with this fireball crap.
I'm a cleric. I don't have fireball.
I mean, you do have radiant damage spells, though.
Yeah. So,
I mean, turn undead. Heal does radiant damage to undead. I know there's a bunch of other. Well, not a bunch of other, but there are other ones in the divine spell list.
So with that, the night kind of grows a little colder, a little quieter. There's an uneasiness in the air, though. Off in the distance, you hear a few night birds erupt, the first that you've heard for a while. And as you kind of stand there looking at Selenar, you can already see the warmth leaving his body, and you can feel the cold settling in. You notice that snow is beginning to gather on the trees and a little bit on the ground. Says, go ahead and roll me a perception check, please.
That is going to be a 25.
Says, one of your friends that you remember running, there's a horrific thing that happened. You guys were playing this game of I can run faster than you, you're slow, butthead. When you were a baby rat running around in the sewers underneath Rustin Falls. And you remember chasing your friend. You remember reaching your hand or your paw out to tag him, to make him it. And he came around the corner, and this gator or some kind of a giant lizard creature snapped him in half. And you dart and you pop up out of your slumber, sleep still in your eyes, and you snap your head from side to side, looking back and forth, and you get this sense that something is off. We are going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen, for a quick, we're going to say about 5 minutes. I'm going to make go out there and help see if we can get Christian up with something and see if I can get him back into this game, or see if we can figure it out. When I come back from this break, we are going to be doing the drawing for this awesome D20. Some lucky viewer out there is going to win it. Again, just type in the word bag of holding. You do need to be a follower in order to win this cool giveaway. All right, we will see you guys back here in about 5 minutes for some more fun and games. Peace. And we're back. Once we last left, Selenar is dead on the ground. We have 2 bone puppies laying around there that have been dispatched. There's an eerie quiet that settles on the area where this fight just happened. And you can hear a giant dice being rolled in the heavens above by the gods, because we are going to do the drawing for this right here. This cool D20 Upper Deck dice bag. I actually have the black one sitting around here somewhere. These things are really nice, really, really cool. So we're going to do the drawing for this bad boy right here, right now. Let me see. We've got 5 people in the running for this. If you would like to win this dice, all you got to do really quick, I'll give you 3 minutes. All you have to do is drop a follow on our channel and type the words bag of holding, all one word, one time into the chat in front of you, and that will enter you. We've got Christian there working on a new character because he wants to be a pain in the butt and make me redo the overlay. But he's making another character, and then we'll get back in. Once this is done, we will move on. I will do this, and then we'll talk about the second giveaway, which is the big giveaway. And I don't care if you win all 3 of them, if you win all 4, if you win 20 giveaways in a row. I do not care. That's the luck of the roll, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everybody's out there is doing amazing. I appreciate you guys coming and spending the evening with us playing some Pathfinder. I hope you're finding it fun. I hope you're gaming yourself. And hey, if you're not, if you're having a hard time finding somebody that's willing to run games for you, there's a couple things. First off, you don't even need to wear clothes if you do it online. Fawn Faye, hey, Fawn! Quads and Dragons, thank you for the follow. Thank you so very, very much. That is super cool. That is so cool. Thank you for the follow. Anyways, I'll let Indigo get you set up for the giveaway. You still got a couple minutes, but hey, if you're out there and you're looking for a game to jump in on and you can't find anybody to run anything for you, I want to run games for you. We have one-shots that happen every month. Our next one-shot, or our first one-shots, happening here towards the end of February. Beyond that, they're going to be different systems. It won't always be Pathfinder. It won't always be Dungeons and Dragons. It'll be a bunch of other stuff as well. It's real simple. All you have to do is be a follower or a subscriber here on the channel, and get involved over there on our Discord and our Twitter, because you want to keep abreast of all this stuff, and I will get you into a game at some point. That will definitely happen. One more minute. If you're out there and you want to win this cool D20 dice bag, all you have to do is enter the word bag of holding, all one word. Squish it together one time in the chat, and we'll get you in there as a possible winner of this thing. Fawn Faye, don't worry about writing that in the chat. I just clicked and made you eligible. Yep, she doesn't have to worry about it, Indigo. Fawn Faye, don't worry about that. I just went ahead and clicked you and made you eligible on my little thing. Hey, you're welcome. Dig your stream, by the way. Really quick. All right, hey, let's do this. Let's go ahead and win some stuff here. If you are the winner, all you have to do is get over there onto my Discord or onto the Twitter, send me a message with your shipping information, and we ship everything out every Friday, so you're gonna have to wait a week before it gets shipped, but it will get shipped out. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. The winner is Indigo Jones. Imagine that. You got a big dice to add to the other 2 sets of dice that you won. That's freaking cool. All right. Cool, cool. Indigo, congrats. That's awesome. That is awesome sauce. All right, so let me set up this next one really quick. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing a giveaway for, if you guys hadn't seen this before, as per before, that is the dice set that we're going to be giving away on our break here in about an hour. That dice set right there is from Die Hard Dice. You can see it right there. I'm not sponsored, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not affiliated with these guys. It's part of their Dracona dice set. This is the Embers Nolly set. This is a metal set of dice, and those are dragon scales you see on there. We're going to be giving away this set of dice. This set of dice was supposed to be given away last week, but we had tech problems. This is the dice set that's to celebrate the fact that we made affiliate. So one of our lucky viewers out there is going to win this set of dice. All you have to do is type this word one time into the chat. Make sure I'm spelling it right, because if I don't spell it right, then we got problems. All right, so all you have to do is put this word one time into the chat. Please only do it one time. If you do it more than once, it will disqualify you. Enter. Okay, let me see if I can get this up and over and running. Ah! There we go. Enter the word Dracona, D-R-A-K-O-N-A, into our chat right there, and you'll be entered to win that cool set of metal Dracona dice. You'll be able to win that tonight here in about an hour. So go ahead and enter that in. You might want to enter into this one there, Indigo. There you go, Indigo. You're getting slow. You're getting so slow. So really quick before we get back to things, take a look down at the panels of Doobly Doos. It tells you everything you need to know about us. I'll go through a big spiel at the end of this all, but I don't want to bore you with it. But I do want to say this much, since I've got them here. Hey, if you into Magic the Gathering, do you like playing Modern? Do you like hanging out with people that are just cool and all around nice people? Well, I'm going to tell you, I know this chick. I know this woman. She's really, really cool. She has a great channel. If you look down below in the About Us, you're going to see her down there. That's Indigo Jones right there in our chat. She's a Magic the Gathering streamer on her way to making affiliate. She does something a little different, at least than what I've seen. She doesn't use a whole lot of digital stuff. She does battles and deck builds, but she uses real life cards, the actual paper cardboard. Really good stuff, quality streams. Go over there, give her a follow, and hey, if you like tabletop role-playing, while you're down there, you're going to see this little channel called Quads and Dragons. They're currently locked into a 5e Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Again, Indigo Jones is in on that. Fawn Fay there is the Dungeon Master. Go check them out over there at Quads and Dragons. Give them some love, people. These people are out there trying to provide entertainment for you guys, and they're probably going to do a far better job than we are. But anyways, that's where we go. So where we last left off, the two hounds, the bone hounds that were upon Selenar to finish our fine half-elven mages, has left him lying there on the ground. So, Ferlina, you've just seen the second one of these kind of strange crimson energy blobs kind of seep across and seep into Selenar's body. Barrage, you and Ferlina are standing there over him. You can see bones scattered about from the fallen two dogs, and the night is eerily drawn quiet. Snow begins to fall heavier and heavier. A chill drops in, and after a few barks out from some night birds, an eerie silence drops on the camp. Says you're laying over there, and as your senses come to you from your sleep and your dreams, you begin to get this overwhelming sense of dread, and that something is very much wrong. You kind of look around from side to side, and when you look over out of the periphery of your vision, you can see two figures standing in the shadows of some trees and all that, and you can make out that it is Ferlina and Barrage, and you can see that there's something laying on the ground that it seems that they're investigating.
So I'm gonna grab a hold of Selenar's arm and just start dragging him back to the wagon.
Okay. And you see Barrage reach down, grab whatever that lump is, and just start dragging him back over to the wagon. Barrage, as you do that, as you grab Selenar's lifeless arm and twist him, a bit of gas or something escapes from inside of him, and you hear this sound.
I'm going to be picking up his glaive and his sword.
Okay.
Well, his
sword is
glaive,
back
his
in the
sword's
camp.
back over there, yeah.
Yeah, his sword's stuck in the tree. Just so you guys managed
When he makes that noise, I will stop for a brief second, see if he moves, since we have been dealing with undead. But assuming he doesn't move after that, I will assume it was probably just gas and continue dragging him over. When I see Says awake, good of you to join us. And then just drag him over to the wagon. And I'm going to start rifling through his pockets, see if there's anything worth taking. and then throw them in the wagon with the rest of the dead bodies.
Is there anything
I'm following
on...
Brashk over there.
Okay.
And before you throw him in the wagon, I say, wait a minute.
What the hell happened?
Undead dogs.
So,
And nobody
Before-
woke them?
Oh,
well,
before
the rest of us woke up on our own.
And you couldn't kick me or throw water on me or something to get my attention? Wake me up?
Selenar was getting his ass kicked.
Grab says his ears. With these big things, I figured you would have woken up.
I'm just looking shocked at this point and looking down at Selenar, speechless.
Christian, want to stand up a
So-
little bit?
Just to make sure that Selenar stays at rest, we're going to make sure he can't come back.
Okay. And how exactly... First off, Barrage rifled through his possessions and all that. Does he have anything of value on him, Christian? Is there anything on Selenar's dead corpse that these guys might be...
Did you still have that locket and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. I'll definitely take that back then.
And then I also have the locket from the assassin in Pendlehaven on me as well.
Describe that locket. Describe what it is that Barrage is looking at.
It is a gold chain that kind of looks like it's made of wings that come to like a center piece that kind of looks like a fly's eye.
Does it
and
look
the
valuable?
Yes.
Does it look like something Selenar would have had from his previous life, Charles? With my lack of knowledge of human, shiny stuff.
It's got very fine like etching and filigree work on it. It's definitely you would think you remember when
Probably
you first met
of
him.
his families.
Yeah, you remember when you first met him. You don't know exactly the history behind it, but yeah, it does fit in with him.
Okay.
Let me interrupt you really quickly though. So Ferline, are you standing over there as well?
Yes, with his glaive.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check if you would.
17.
As Barrage is kind of rifling through this thing, you see him pick up an item off of Selenar's corpse. And when he does this, he kind of takes one of his lizard claws and flicks it open, and you see that it's a locket and all that. And you can see that inside it's got like the design of like an eye or a fly's eye. And you feel starting at the base of your spine above your hips, icy fingers just beginning to slowly crawl up your spine. You can feel like your hairs, the small hairs on the back of your neck, begin to rise up, and you almost involuntarily take like a half a step backwards and lean away from it. It's nothing that you recognize. If you want to go ahead and roll a religion check, you can.
Yeah. $20.
Wow, holy cow. Is it nat 20 or just 20?
No, it's 13 plus 7.
Okay, so as you're looking at it and you look down at it, you can see, you're not sure if your eyes are seeing it for real or if it's imagined, but as Barrage is holding this, the chain, the broken chain kind of hangs off of it. And that's one of the things that you both notice is that this locket doesn't have a full chain. It's a broken chain, and it's broken in that kind of way like you would expect it to be ripped off of somebody, like somebody grabbed it and yanked it off and away. But as Barrage is holding this and your eyes focus in on it, you almost see rivulets, like little bits of liquid black. Very, very faint, very wispy, briefly kind of just roil out of it. And it continues to happen and then finally kind of fades a little bit as Barrage closes it.
Barrage, you might want to get rid of that locket.
This is probably from his family, right? We could use this to find where his people are.
If it is, you want it in something that's going to protect yourself from it.
All right, you carry it. I'm going to toss it to her.
He tosses it into the air towards you.
I'm gonna let it fall to the ground first.
Okay. As it falls to the ground, you see it kind of, the moonlight catches it. You see like the moonlight dance across the surface, and you see this filigree. And as it's tossing, it's coming closer to you, and your eyes focus in on it. You actually see that it's filigreed with the eye of a fly, the multifaceted, and the rest of all the filigree work over it is overlaid fly wings on it, around it. And you notice that the metal itself, while appearing to be silver, is actually blued a little bit, kind of like the butt end of one of those big juicy bluebell flies. And as the locket hits the ground with a tinking sound, it hits a rock and pops open. And as it pops open, you kind of step back. And Barrage, you see this as well. You probably don't step back, but you definitely see it happen. As it breaks open, you see a very fat, kind of almost impossibly big, like how is it in there? But it crawls out of the center of the locket, a big, maybe inch long and 3/4 of an inch wide, bulbous fly, a blue bottle fly, pull its way out of this thing. And you can see the multifaceted bugged eyes on this fly as it sits there, and you can see it straightening its wings and kind of go ahead.
You get it.
I want to stomp on it.
Go ahead and roll me an attack.
Unarmed is just straight up, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be strength or dex, whichever's higher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say
So that's a 12.
as this was going on and they were beginning to go over Selenar's body and kind of grab the locket and everything,
Yeah.
Sez would have wandered back over towards where the fight was on
Okay.
and started looking at like tracks to see if he can see where these things came from or what happened while he was asleep.
Okay.
And I'm sticking my frog on it, my familiar.
You have a frog?
I have a frog familiar, yeah. You guys probably don't see him very often. He usually sits on my shoulder.
Keep forgetting about that thing. I gotta get that thing involved in this somehow, some way. So go ahead and roll me a survival check, Says. So this fly kind of, what did you roll for Lena?
12.
12. Perfect. That's enough to hit it. And so what, you were stepping on it?
Yes.
Okay, and you bring your foot down towards it, and you can see all of the faceted eye part, it all, and you can almost see your foot coming down, reflected in it, and you see it, and you think for a second you hear it make a noise that maybe was communicative, and you hear this as your foot hits it and obliterates it.
Good.
Says, what'd you roll?
15.
15. You do manage to kind of off over in those trees. You kind of pick up on the fact of yet another that there was another one of these creatures. And as you move into the trees themselves, you see lunging up out of the trees one of these, oh come on, turn around, right, one of these bone type dogs that you can see the remains of, and it's maybe about 10 feet from you as it kind of leers around the tree. Its teeth, it's got folds of desiccated flesh kind of hanging from its jaws and all of that, and it tries, you can see it tries to snarl up at you. Wow, I'm pulling stuff off my windows, and you hear it kind of snarl as it kind of just
Charles,
locks
can you move
eyes
Christian's
with you.
character back to the wagon? Because that's where we're going through his pockets.
Yeah, let me get rid of this guy here, and then we will grab that guy, move him there, and I will grab Christian, and we'll move him back over there. There's a Christian, and there is Ferlina. She's over there, and Says, you see this dog creature. How tall is Says?
About 4 foot.
About 4 foot. This thing comes up to basically be able to stare just about to your throat. And you can see that kind of tucked in, like hooked on a bit of bone, like maybe one of the spine bones. You can see what appears to maybe have at one time been a dog tag or something like that, an identifier mark, but this thing is far from a dog. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. Ooh.
You want us to roll initiative too?
Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna start with Says.
11.
And 11. We'll go with Selenar. Oh wait, hold on. Barrage.
I got a 17.
17. Ferlina.
14.
14. All right. And what is this thing's perception? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going first. So, and as it comes out from around the tree and focuses its eyes on you, you see the last thing you see before this flash of movement where underbrush and everything goes kind of scattered off to the sides. You see a bright flash of that very familiar crimson glow in its eyes as the thing launches at you from across the way. 16, 22.
That will hit.
That will hit. As it launches, there's one action to close, one to attack. Get over there, dog. Wow,
You're on
this
the
thing-
right tool?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For some reason, it won't move. Well, anyways, you're
Oh, there it
engaged
goes.
with the... Oh, I must have had some lag going on there. With my internet speed? That's a bit on the unusual side. Okay, fine, sure, whatever. There we go. So go ahead
Probably on the Forge's end.
and take... Yeah, that would make sense. Go ahead and do me a favor and take 9 points of damage as this thing lashes toward you, biting onto your left shoulder. And taking a good solid grip on you. With its final attack, it's gonna kind of start to rend and thrash back and forth on you. But it doesn't do any more than 3 more points of damage. Next up would be Barrage. You hear kind of a guttural release of pain out of Says, and you heard the guttural sounds of another one of these bone creatures. And as you kind of maybe glance over, you can catch that for sure Says is engaged with something over by those trees.
All right. I'm gonna move there, and I will just raise my shield as my last action.
Okay. And then Ferlina, same thing.
Well, I've got Selenar's glaive in my hand. Obviously, we're back at it with these dogs. So... And he's actually in the tree this time, not just at the...
Yeah. Says is off to the side of the road battling this thing off in the trees.
Okay. I'm gonna move to follow Selenar. Or
Okay.
not Selenar, Barrage.
You're gonna follow in the glaive and follow him? Okay, so is that one action?
Yeah.
Okay. You have 2 more?
Oh boy.
Is it within 30 feet of you? Not quite.
Not quite, yeah. It was just outside of...
So this thing has
So
got
I
a hold
am-
of Says.
So I mean, you can take an action to recall knowledge about a creature. And if you roll well, you can learn some like basic information about it. So things like, possible weaknesses, resistances, that you might have read about.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
we
always
kind of
helpful.
already killed 2 of them, so that's not really necessary. I think for now, since you're the closer one, I'm actually going to cast guidance on you.
Okay.
It gives you a +1 status bonus, status bonus to 1 attack roll, perception check, saving throw, or skill check. So.
All right. Says, this thing has got a hold of your shoulder and is kind of trying to drag. You can feel it's trying to drag you down as most carnivores would, try to drag you down and put you on the ground. And it's kind of ripping and tearing at your shoulder.
Okay, so first to confirm, is drawing a weapon an action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will draw for 1 action and then lash out with the dagger at it.
All right.
It's going to be 23.
That hits. Hold on. Yep, that hits.
It's going to be 8 points of piercing damage.
Ooh. You bite in deep and you kind of you can see like exposed areas of bone. There's no real innards in the creature that you can see, maybe a little bit in there, but you can also see areas where there's skin. And on this one you kind of aim kind of for almost like a heart strike, and you bury it, and you actually feel your dagger skip off some bone, but actually hits something that could maybe be considered fleshy or something to that. You can see that this thing actually does react to your strike. You have another action.
Okay, with the last action, I'm actually going to twist that dagger and attempt to rip it out with the second strike.
Okay.
That is a critical 1.
As you're in there and as you're doing this, you twist your blade as you're bringing it out, and you get it stuck in between 2 ribs. So when you twist it, you put the cross guard against 2 of the ribs, and it rips out of your hand. And as you do this, the thing kind of snarls and gives a quick shake of its mouth. You take another point of damage. The hound that is still kind of upon you continues to bite and kind of begin to bear down on you. Let me do this really quick. Oh, I forgot about that part of it. All right. Off in the darkness, as this thing kind of is trying to bear you down, off in the darkness you hear another snarl, then followed, and that snarl erupts into a ghostly, ethereal kind of a howl. And you see that crimson as you're kind of looking down, and this thing has got clamped onto your shoulders, and you see it kind of beginning to try and rip you down or take your shoulder off. You see these eyes flash bright with crimson, and you feel its jaws release their pressure as it drops down, turns, and bolts through the trees. You do not have attack of opportunity, do you?
It does not. Only fighters get that at first level.
Dragons and Draw, thank you for that follow, my friend. I appreciate it. Hey, while you're out there following people, if you're interested, since you're now a follower, that makes you eligible to win that set of dice. If you're over the age of 18, a member or a resident of the continental United States, and a follower, which you just did, if you enter in the word, If somebody wants to put that word in chat for me, that'd be really cool. If you type this word one time, here in about 40 minutes, I'm going to be giving those dice away, and you get a chance to win them. I appreciate that follow, because every follow helps us get the word out about early detection and about cancer and all that other good stuff that we're all about. Anyways, it drops down to the ground and it bolts off into the trees. You get a distinct feeling that this beast has just been called. And you're standing there as it releases. You can feel your blood, the warmth of your blood seeping across your fur, underneath your armor and everything.
Brilliant.
That person isn't eligible anyways, Crimson. As that happens, and you're all kind of standing there as this beast, quickly even, you can hear like that sound of stones clacking on stones as the bones hit. You can hear twigs snapping and everything as the thing launches itself through the trees, kind of making its way back out into the darkness. There you go.
Needs a little help,
Dragons and
Berlina.
dogs. Sweet.
Yeah. I'm gonna run to my pack and get my healer's kit.
Okay. Where is your pack located?
It's back where we were sleeping.
Back where you were sleeping. As you turn around and make your way back to that, you stop almost dead in your tracks. You can see movement from over by the wagon. You actually see Selenar's head kind of roll and lull off to the
Yep,
side.
I'm walking over with the glaive and just right at the neck.
All right, Selenar, your undead self, your eyes snap open. As you're making your way towards him, Ferlina, how fast are you trying to close the distance to get to him?
I'm walking fairly quickly. I'm not running, but I'm walking quickly because I knew this might happen, so.
Okay, and with each step that you take, as you close the distance over to your fallen friend, with each step you can see him body parts kind of stiff a little bit, but they're limber enough because he's not long dead, kind of moving as he begins to find purchase, and he begins to raise himself up. And as he does that, you see his eyes snap unholily, that's a word because I'm the GM, wide. And his eyes fill. You can see his sockets are already beginning to sink, and you can see his eyes fill with that kind of necrotic crimson red glow, and his jaw kind of drops open, and you're met with this and he reaches a hand out as he's coming up, and he's pointing the direction where the bone dog ran to, where you guys got into the battle with the big old saucy ogre guy and everything over there. And his hand reaches out and the other one presses down, and as he rises up, roll me. I'll give you a free attack, so go ahead and roll me an attack. See if you can make contact with them.
How about a natural 20?
Wow. So as you close those last couple of steps, you bring the glaive up and get it to a ready position. You're not really familiar with glaives, but it seems like the right thing to do. And as you take that final step, you see Selenar's head kind of turn towards you. And at the last second, as you're bringing that down, you see the crimson in his eyes grow with intensification. You have never had a living or unliving creature ever look at you with such hatred before, as the glaive cleanly takes Selenar's head right off. Everybody else that's standing there, you hear it. It's a beautiful sound. It's like a hot knife through butter, just and you all kind of maybe cast a glance over because you heard the moan and everything, and you see Selenar's head tumbling through the air, separated from his undead body. It cracks to the base of the wagon, plops, rolls off to the side. You see his eyes briefly blink once or twice. The crimson fades, pulls away, and you see for a brief second, you're not sure if it's a trick of the light or whatever it is, but for a brief second, you see a bit of life creep back in, and a single tear form at the edge of the half-elven mage's eyes as the light goes out. And Selenar is finally laid to rest. How's it going, William? Ursus Unusual. Yes, the puppy died. Well, a lot of puppies died, actually, if we're going to be going that route. Hope you're doing good
Okay.
tonight there, William.
Now that that's out of the way, I'm finishing getting over to my kit so I can get the healer's kit and help says.
All right, you can go ahead and do that again. As that creature ran off into the darkness, again, that eerie calm begins to settle down as the snow continues to fall. Barrage, what are you doing? You were kind of where there says you as well.
Says looks to be okay for the most part, so I'm just gonna head back to camp.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of walk backwards, stumbling back to camp, trying to watch where the dog went, because I don't want it jumping back out at me.
Okay. Yeah, you see it kind of like off over where you guys fought the big bomb zombie at that last session area. It kind of ran off back into those trees, back off of over there, the same direction, Barrage, that the young noble Selenar was telling you he had heard voices or heard some screaming or some such coming from.
He wasn't lying to me. He wasn't making it up.
Nope, oh, for sure.
So while Ferlina's tending to says, I'm gonna pick up his head, and I'm gonna start cleaning the flesh from it.
Gonna start cleaning the flesh from it. Okay. So you says and Ferlina, you see Barrage holding Selenar.
Yeah, I'm just sitting kind of crisscross applesauce, using my dagger and cutting off the meaty parts, popping the eyes out.
How much do I know about lizard folk?
Go ahead and roll me a nature.
That'd probably be society instead.
Actually, yeah, society. Lizard folk society. So it's gonna be tough.
It's going to be an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. You know enough. You would understand what's going on.
I shake my head, but I don't actually say anything to him. I understand lizard folk culture enough to keep my mouth shut.
All right. So Barrage, you continue to carve off little chunks of Selenar flesh. I can already see it.
I'll be having a conversation with Hazi and Aruxi back and forth between us, trying to decide, how we're gonna get this back to his family.
Okay. What are you doing, Ferlina?
I see where the healer's kit is, but I don't see what it actually does. I rolled a 17 to use it, but I don't see what it actually gives back to the person.
Says just under the healing. So if you do a medicine check, where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was in skills here.
Yeah, that's exactly where you want to find
Yep,
it.
that's exactly where you want to be. I will go ahead and do the pop for it right now. If you guys are playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition and you want an easier way of shooting through them rules and finding stuff, I would like to encourage you to go on over to app.demiplane.com Nexus Pathfinder. Pathfinder Nexus has entered into its next phase of release, and the compendium is up. It's searchable. It's super fast and super clean and super cool. I'm not sponsored by them either, but hey, Paizo, put me on your thing there. I'll run games for you.
Did you find it, Genie? It'd be 2d8.
Okay. There's 1, 2. That is 12.
12 points back, says.
Leaves me just under max health.
Nice.
So Selenar's decapitated body is laying there. The blood congealing and all of that. Quite the mess. A somber air, except maybe for Barrage, settles on the area as Barrage is continuing to cleave stuff off. Having a conversation, I believe, was it a frog?
It's a little frog, on my shoulder.
Yep.
And the frog's talking back, too.
Okay.
Not that they can understand it, but it's speaking back to me in a very deep voice.
Okay.
So it's like doing croaks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's the exact same language I'm speaking.
Yeah, and you can hear this. You can hear this conversation happening, and the depth of it. It's like a frog with doing Vader. It's like James Earl Jones, deep.
Have we ever heard this happen before?
Oh, I'm sure you
Probably a
have.
couple times, yeah.
Okay.
Halsey doesn't speak up very often, but when he does, he's vocal. He does not whisper.
I
I'll put
just
it that
don't
way.
understand. It says I just don't understand why he eats people.
Oh, I'm not putting anything in my mouth. You can
It's-
see me. I'm like tossing flesh to the side.
It's disrespectful among lizard folk to leave meat to waste.
Okay.
And as the night kind of continues to slowly drag on and snow begins, no other sounds appear to come out of the forest. Just an
We
uneasy
each
calm
probably
and
got
quiet.
about 4 hours sleep, right?
Yeah, roughly.
I mean, I got. How long were our watches? Like what? 3 hours?
3 hours.
What Salinar was the third one, so
You got
Yeah,
about
I got
it
8
was-
hours.
Yeah. Says got
I don't know
plenty.
about you guys, but I want to figure out where the heck these things are coming from before we try to go to sleep again. Otherwise, we're just going to get attacked again.
I ain't going to sleep. Heck
I mean,
with
how
that.
far are we from the main trail?
From, or you mean the main road between Traveler's Rest
Yeah.
and all that? You are looking at. Hold on, let me pull that map up really quick onto my screen so I can look at it.
And this would be directed at Says. I'm assuming he's kind of our Pathfinder here.
Probably a good 2 days.
We're a couple days away from the main trail yet.
And this thing did run the opposite direction. This one ran kind of towards the forested foothills beneath the mountains.
So we're talking a couple days that way, and you want us to go who knows how far that way.
I want
Would it
us
make
to
more
not
sense-
be here tonight. We need to get out of here. Either track these things down or go in the other direction and get far enough away that we're not going to get attacked again.
Perception.
Stand up. Okay. 16.
12.
11.
Who got the 16? Barrage, you hear the ever so faint snap of a twig, kind of coming from the trail that kind of goes up towards where the baker woman's relative was at, and up towards the area that Selinar had pointed that he had heard some screaming and other sounds coming from.
I will turn to look and kind of hiss in that direction and do like a quick chin jab and pull a dagger.
I'll draw both the dagger and my hand crossbow.
Okay.
Face the same way.
I'm going to work with the crossbow at this point. It's done me pretty good.
Okay. And is everybody kind of focusing off up over into that area of darkness where the trees and all that, where it says it, or
Yeah.
Selinar had pointed out? Yeah. You kind of all kind of weapons drawn stand there and kind of focus in on that area, and you don't hear anything again. You don't hear any further twigs snap or anything like that. But it is the general direction that you think that bone dog, that bone hound would have ran.
I'm keeping the crossbow out. Screw this.
We should move on. I'm going to stick Selinar's skull into my bag, go up to the wagon, and set it aflame.
And set it aflame. All right. So the wagon erupts into flame. You see it kind of burning, and as the pyre kind of grows, that sickly sweet smell of burnt flesh begins to rise out in billowed clouds and begins to fill up the area. You hear off in the far distance of the dark, where that you think that creature went running off, you hear some snarls, and again a kind of echoed out hollow disembodied howl, this
I'm keeping my back to the fire and like watching to see if anything comes in.
Okay, and then you hear off in the distance, kind of a lot closer than that, you hear another twig snap kind of sound, almost as if something was drug across a piece of wood, and then a kind of a sound. A little bit of snorting, if you will.
Close to the
Well-
snorting sound, like just over kind of where the big guy jumped out at us.
Yeah, just kind of past, kind of more in the area of where the baker woman's niece or whatever she was found in the bushes. Kind of off over in that way where that cliff is at.
Okay. We should
I'm-
check that and then move on.
Yeah.
All right, I got your back.
I'm going to sheath my dagger and then get my shield ready.
Okay. So
And then I will.
go ahead.
Oh, who's got the glaive? Because that still has light on it. Or actually,
No, I thought the light was just.
so it lasts until my next day's preparations, and I don't believe we got long enough
you
rest for
never,
me to
yeah,
do
it's still,
preparation.
yeah, it's still lit because you didn't do any more preparation.
Okay, I had the glaive.
Okay. Then I will move just in front of Ferlina and then start moving over there.
Okay, who all's moving over there? Is everybody moving over in that general direction? It would be,
Yeah.
the sound would be coming kind of from off over in that, I don't know if you can see my mouse flicking around over there or my marker.
Yeah.
It's kind of over in that area. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
18.
Everybody?
19.
10.
Oh my god. Ranger rogue my ass. Barrage and Ferlina. You both again hear like movement. Not twigs, not wood, but like something crunching on like very cold, dry leaves and maybe snow. Like maybe a footfall. And then you hear again some more kind of sounds, and they're definitely coming up not from the bush in front of you but up the cliff, and there's a tree with some bushes underneath of it that is sitting up there. Seems to be where that sound is coming from.
Does it sound like it's moving? You said like almost like a footstep in snow.
Just once you heard something crunch, and it was almost like as if the closest thing that you can approximate to it would be like somebody stepping on like some snow-covered leaves or something like that.
Okay. I will keep moving up, assuming Ferlina is bringing the glaive so I can see.
Yes, I am.
All right, as you continue moving forward, you continue, and it's growing closer, and it's definitely coming from kind of off over in this kind of area. You, for some reason, my ping ain't working. Huh. Anyways, it's coming from this kind of fall
like right there?
colored tree. Yeah, kind of coming from off into that tree that's right over there. And you can hear it, and you can see that there's bushes down there. You can see where there's a fallen log down there. And you can see kind of off at the edge of your light, you can see where the snow that's kind of gathered has been disturbed. And you can see like the tracks running away of that last bone hound that you guys were unable to engage. And coming from over in that tree area, you hear that kind of a snort, kind of sound.
I'm going to part the bushes and take a look inside.
As you
I
part
use on the edge of my shield.
Okay, as you kind of you put your shield in there and catch some of them and all of that, you pull it aside, ready. I mean, I'm assuming you're full on ready to engage whatever it is, and you pull it back, expecting the worst, and you see something that catches you completely off guard. You move the bushes and you move some deadfall, and just down to your right, you see a smear of blood over about a 12-inch fallen log. And as your eyes follow that smear of blood around the rounding of the log, your eyes come to rest on a tuft of orange hair, bright, flaming, curly, afro-like hair and a little bit of alabaster colored skin underneath of it. And then your eyes focus in on the fineries. Nice clothes. You can see a jerkin, a shirt exposed, and you can see where there's a torn bit of fabric torn away from it. The figure that you see is maybe 3 foot tall at its best, and it snorts once and kind of rolls over, its eyes closed, and you see this bulbous nose, and you can see that it has a satchel on it. You can see it has a dagger that's at its hip, and it's just kind of, and it, for all intents and purposes, looks like it's unconscious. It's humanoid. You can't see too much of it unless you get in really close.
Erlina, poke it.
I'll go up to where he's at and
Okay.
use like the end, the non-lethal end of the glaive to just kind of nudge it.
You kind of turn the glaive backwards and use the butt end of it and kind of nudge it. And when you nudge it, it definitely gives. This thing hasn't missed a whole lot of meals. And as you nudge it, it kind of and it kind of grows silent. But it moves enough, and you see the bulbous, and you can quite easily make out that it appears to be a gnome. And as it kind of shifts a little bit, you can see what appears to be a bit of metal and wood underneath it. It kind of rolls to the side when you poke it, and it exposes that underneath of it. And it's finally, whatever it is, it's finally made. And you can see silver wrapped on a very dark red wood.
Hey, buckethead, wake up!
And this kind of echoes out. I mean, it's deadly quiet out. Very, very calm. And your voice, you call out to say this, and it kind of echoes out into the trees. You're not sure how far it goes, but it does get out there, and you realize at that moment you probably were a little louder. All that answers you is more of this snoring sound. And you can see a smear of blood on its face where it appears that it cracked its head on the log.
I actually jumped from her calling out and then began looking around, see if anything heard the sound and is coming at us.
Go ahead and roll a perception.
Is there anything on his jerkin? Like any symbol or anything like that?
It's 18 on my perception.
You see 18. You look around, get your eyes open. You can hear guttural stuff and odd, strange noises. You can see where the trail cuts through the trees and kind of heads further out west, rising up into the wooded foothills. And you can make out the sounds of zombies, which you're familiar with, and every once in a while, but it's quite a ways away, and it fades after just a little bit. As you kind of investigate and look down at him, Barrage, and you begin to look for any kind of marketable kind of things. As you're looking around on him, the only thing that you find, other than he's got a satchel, his clothing is very foppish, very fine, just laying off about a foot away from him. You see this big, giant, foppish, purple and bright yellow beret. It's kind of striped, big, plumed yellow feather hanging out of it. It doesn't look quite as nice now, but you catch the glint of a bit of gold around this small little snoring gnome or unconscious gnome's neck.
He was probably on his way to Traveler's Rest then. They had bards in there every now and again, right? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like how the bards dress through Travelers in? A lot of times foppish and over the top.
No.
Maybe not this fine. Okay.
No. This individual, nothing about this individual screams adventurer's life or anything like that. All the bards that you've seen, particularly in the northern part of the land, that's the only part you've had exposure to, Most of the ones that you've seen, like at the Traveler's Rest, are dressed in leathers. They're dressed as travelers. Granted, some of their clothing may be of a finer quality, but never like silks and linens, and the leather that he's got for a cloak around him is ill suited to being out in this kind of terrain. It looks like it's got the sheen of being treated, but it's super, super thin.
I'm gonna slap him. Full-handed, on the face.
You reach down and just go ahead and roll me damage. Non-lethal, please. Just
Yeah.
crack
What
him
is
across the face.
this D4?
He's already got a concussion or something.
That is going to be 3 points of damage.
And as
3
you
points of
swing
open-handed damage.
you swing your lizard claw through the air and get ready to crank it. You see, like, groggily one eye kind of open up, and it snaps wide, kind of like this. It's not focused at all, and then crack comes Barrage slapping the side of him, and you see almost comically his eye kind of do one of these things, roll back in his head, and he goes out. The snoring ceases, but you can see his little barrel-chested body suck in and exhale, suck in and exhale, suck in and exhale. We're gonna take
You realize you just knocked him out again.
He should have woken up when you poked him.
And on that note, we're going to take tonight's major break. We're going to step away for about 10 minutes. Before I do that, though, if you are out there watching and you're new to Twisted Die Roller here, we are giving away a set of these beautiful dice. These are the Dracona series dice from... There's the name of it. There's the Dracona series, and these are from Die Hard Dice. These are metal with dragon scales on them. These are absolutely some of the most gorgeous dice I have ever seen. If you want a chance to win them, all you have to do is be here right now. All you have to do is be a follower or a subscriber. It's that simple. Following costs you nothing, and it helps me get the message out to everybody about the importance of early detection, about cancer awareness, and about mental health awareness. If you would like to win those and you're a follower and you haven't entered it in yet, enter in the words you see right there. DRAKONA. All lowercase, one time in the chat. Make sure you're a follower. And when we get back from our break, we're going to wrap up this session. We're going to give these dice away. We're going to play for probably about another half hour. We're going to introduce who this little gnomish guy is, and we're going to have some more fun. So, with that being said, I'm going to kill the comms out there so you can't hear those guys. I'm going to throw up my timer. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to be right back, and we will do a drawing for those dice. That is such a really cool set of dice. Good luck to everybody who's in the running for it, and we'll see you back here in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to Twisted Die Roller. We are off of our break, obviously. I'm not feeling that good tonight, so we are going to do this and play a little bit more. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope everybody out there is doing amazing tonight. I appreciate, I'm humbled that you guys, of all the content that's out there on the internet, you guys have chosen to take the time to come hang out with us here at Twisted Die Roller. I super appreciate that. If you're new to our channel and you feel like our content's worth a darn, our message of cancer awareness and early detection's worth a darn, hit that follow button. Drop a follow on us, because without you guys, we can't do what we're doing. Take a look down at the doobly-doos, the panels. That'll tell you everything about how to game with us, how to get in on some games, how to win all this free, cool loot, like that set of dice right there, which I am getting ready to give away right now. So here we go. Oh, a whole lot of people want that. Sunnydale, it shows you, I'm marking you as ineligible.
Thank you.
All right, yep, here we go. Good luck to some lucky follower out there. You're gonna win a cool set of dice. Here we go. Boom. Hey, looky there. Congratulations. The name that I will never be able to pronounce, so I am going to pronounce it Praisaz. There you go. Praisaz, you did good. You won the dice. You know the routine. Give me your address either on Twitter or over on Discord, because I know you're over on Discord. Go ahead and drop that, and I will get this set of dice out to you on Friday, this coming Friday. That is going to be it for the giveaways. We left off with these guys all standing over this little gnomish body, and I'm gonna have P us in knee us if I am correct. All right, Neus. I hope that works for you, Neus, because that's what I'm going to call you from here on out. Guys, I have not been feeling good since early this afternoon. I am running a 99.6 temperature. I'm not feeling the greatest. I'm beginning to run out of steam, and rather than going off and risking this amazing campaign that we've started here and producing some subpar stuff, I think I'm going to do the smart thing and go relax, hydrate, get some food in me, and rest. I appreciate everybody that's come and hung out with us. I'm going to go through a couple things. If you did look down below, you're going to notice the whole reason that this channel is here is my lovely daughter spent the past year battling cancer. She was diagnosed in December of 2020 with stage 4 nodular sclerosis, Hodgkin's lymphoma. It is as nasty as it sounds, for sure. But in December 23rd, 2021, she went into remission, and as of a couple days ago, she's completely off chemo. So she, at this point, has beaten the cancer. That doesn't mean the fight stops. That means that she is going to be the light of this whole thing, and I am going to be going after cancer. My way of doing that is this channel. I want to use my passion for tabletop RPGs to raise awareness of a couple things. The importance of early detection, cancer awareness, and mental health issues, because I will tell you, after over a year of watching my daughter fight it, watching cancer tear my family up and down, and everything we went through, I can guarantee you that mental health is a very real thing. I also know that there's a lot of gamers out there, a lot of us currently deal with mental health. I've dealt with it my entire life. As far as early detection is concerned, do me a favor. If you, a loved one, somebody that you know has been dealing with an ailment for even more than a few weeks, go get it checked out. In a lot of ways, cancer, the number one tool we have is early detection. The best way that we can beat cancer is the best way that we have to beating cancer is early detection. And there's many forms of cancer that are hyper aggressive: lung cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer is another example, prostate cancer, colorectal and colon cancer. All of those are very aggressive. And in those cases, a lot of times your only real chance at beating it is early detection. So go get checked if you're dealing with an ailment. I know it's going to cost money, but I'll tell you right now, I don't like talking about the funds that have been spent on my daughter's cancer fight, but I will tell you this much. This fall, she went to the OHSU Knight Center in Portland, Oregon, the cancer center there, for a cutting edge treatment called a stem cell transplant. That procedure racked up a hospital bill alone for the 2 months they were there of about $750,000. That is $750,000. Go get checked out. Do yourself, your friends, your family a favor, and let's kick the shit out of cancer. I'm sorry if you're young, plug your ears, but hashtag fuck cancer. Anyways, everything you need to know about us is down below. I'm humbled and ever so grateful that you guys took the time out of your busy schedules to come hang out with us. I want to thank these amazing players that are gathered here. These guys have always provided me with a lot of fun, given me inspiration for running these things and having this fun time that we've been having. A couple other really quick things. I'm forgetting so much because I really do feel like crap. Nothing tomorrow. Monday I'll be back on here doing prep for another campaign. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's 11 p.m. Eastern. That's 8 p.m. on the other coast, the good coast. We are going to be playing some D&D 5e. We are going to be launching Two for the Road, a D&D 5e campaign that's going to have Jeannie here playing, check this out, a Goliath barbarian, and Christian here playing a halfling bard. Two for the Road is Tuesday night. Monday I'll be on here. Our schedule's down below. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Those of you who won stuff, you'll get that sent out on Friday. You already know that I'm good for it. We give giveaways, all that stuff. Good. Hey, for now, does anybody on the cast here, Connor, Jeannie, Danny, or Christian, you guys got anything you want to say before we close this thing off?
Just kicking in about Wednesday with your daughter.
Oh yeah. So if you're curious about everything that has to do with cancer and all that stuff, we're going to be telling the story of my daughter and my family's adventures through the world of cancer every Wednesday night on this channel from 6 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Me and my daughter Michaela are going to be on here having a very real, in-depth, heartfelt, and I will guarantee you I'm already getting emotional thinking about all the stuff that we're going to be trudging through to relive everything that our family went through. We're going to be doing that every Wednesday night. It is Cancer Chat, so tune in for that. Thanks for the reminder, Jeannie. Again, I hope everybody out there is happy. I hope your 20s always roll 20, never a 1. And if you don't have a gaming group, consider letting me run some games for you, because I'll be more than happy to do that for you. If you dig our content, drop a follow. Doesn't cost you a thing. Anyways, that's it for us. I'm going to shut this thing down. We will talk to you guys later. We love you faces. And as always, peace and happy gaming.